Over the years, Sally Morgan's amazing psychic abilities have helped hundreds of people contact their loved ones in the spirit world.
Now listen, this is a very distinctive passing, because I think he might have taken his own life.
Yes, he did.
Do you remember him? Did you know him?
Yes, we knew him very well.
Because do you know what he's just said? I'm so glad you very nearly didn't come. And he's so pleased that you're here.
That's true.
Sally first experienced psychic visions as a child in the 1950s, and by the time she'd reached middle age, she knew she was destined to become a medium. In the early 90s, Sally met Brenda Juretic, who helped put her in touch with members of high society, and she soon became involved with her most famous and celebrated client.
Once Diana, the princess, I don't really like to call her Diana, but I refer to her as the POW, the Princess of Wales. My life did take a turn. I was someone at the end of a telephone on a daily basis for 4.5 years that she communicated with.
It was Brenda Juretic's friend Helena Roach who was responsible for bringing together Sally Morgan and Her Royal Highness Diana, Princess of Wales.
I was introduced to Sally via a friend's auntie, Brenda. I was working at Kensington Palace at the time. I was the dresser to the Princess of Wales. So I saw her on a daily basis. And the Princess was obviously interested in mediums and psychics. So when she knew I was having a reading, she was quite excited to get involved. So eventually, over the days, having had the reading, she wanted to get in touch with Sally.
Helena was sent to Sally on Diana's behalf and took with her personal items belonging to the princess.
Sally needed something of intimacy, so the princess gave me a watch and a pair of socks. Socks were the only thing we could think of together that was, you know, a neutral thing to take, that but was personal. And a list of questions that the princesses specifically wanted answering.
When Helena returned with the reading, the princess told her she was startled by its accuracy.
When I heard the reading, we went around, well, the princess was proving what she heard and took me to a specific chair that was in the family and showed me the chair, and it referenced, obviously, in the reading. So that made me really quite nervous that it was coming true already. She was really impressed and really excited, and I'm sure she rang Sally back that night.
The phone went and it was Helena, and she said, oh, my boss, she always called her the boss. She said, my boss would like to speak to you. So I remember saying, oh, when? She said, now. She said, what happens is you put the phone down and then when it rings again, it will be her.
So I was the go-between between the princess and Sally. I did it for a few occasions and made a few phone calls, but after that, Sally and the princess conversed together and I was out the loop.
At first, Sally was unsure of the protocol required for such a high-profile client.
When I sit with a person, there has to be a relationship going from the word go. And there's nothing better when you want to make someone at ease by calling them, I believe, by their Christian name or their given name. And that was very difficult, and I wanted to know. And she said, well, you can call me Diana. I said, that's impossible. I won't be able to do that. And she said, call me Mary. And I said, I can't even call you Mary. So she said, well, please, you call me whatever you're comfortable with. And this is the truth. In that 4.5 year period, I never called her anything.
Sally still has a memento from her time spent reading for the Princess of Wales.
This is from the Diana days. I keep a rose. This is a rose from my garden that I just put in there, and it's just, you can tell it's just dried. Keep it in there for her, really. It's a bit like a little shrine. She gave me this, the Princess of Wales. At the time I was seeing her, I was going through one of my collecting phases, and it was kitchen paraphernalia. And the bottle, they don't actually put the milk in this for the royal household anymore. But at the time it was sort of, it's unpasteurised milk and the royal crest on it. And I said to Helena, oh, I love that. And Helena had a little bit of milk in it, which she said, oh, I'll have to clear it. And she rang Princess of Wales and she said, you know, Sally wants, she said, give it to her. So I clutch that and say, this has been, it's my heirloom, it's what I'm going to leave the kids. And as I say, I just keep a little rose in there and it sits up there. She was eager to talk to someone who may be able to throw light on something. And at the time, she was seeing Oliver Hoare, but it hadn't actually come into public knowledge. And something I said to her concerning him, and initials, I could see the initials OH, and no one knew at the time that there was some liaison between them.
But it was only after Diana's fatal accident that Sally began piecing together another prediction that had become chillingly accurate. Like everyone else, Sally was shocked by Diana's sudden and untimely death. But 4 days after the funeral, Sally heard from someone who'd stumbled upon a tape of a reading Sally had made for the princess the year before.
She started the conversation off by saying that certain people on the train, and I took that to be the train that went from Westminster to Altrop, have listened to the tape. And I said, what tape? And she said, the tape from last year. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. She said, well, you predicted her death. And I said, I did not, because you would remember. She said, oh, Sally, you did. She said, don't you remember? You said the Queen was going to have a heart attack and be pulled out of, and it was like, boom, it hit me. And I said, oh my God. And what apparently, and I can remember it, what I'd said was that I could see a black car in a dark place like a tunnel, and what was really prominent was the grey pavement, because I could see her legs being pulled, someone pulling her out from the back of the car by her legs, and her head and her shoulders on the car, the floor of the car, and her body on the grey pavement, and somebody thump her chest. And I said, it's the Queen. So I said to Fiona, well, that was the Queen. She said, no, but it was before the Princess of Wales had done that infamous interview with Martin Bashir, you know, wanting to be known as the Queen of Hearts.
Sally has always been in demand, and ever since her time as Princess Diana's personal psychic, this has continued to increase. She has already written one bestseller and is about to finish her second book.
Oh yeah, but the tour is just amazing. You know, over the last few days I've done nothing but talk about Spirit World. You know, and I only normally talk about Spirit World on stage, but it's most definitely someone up there is orchestrating all of this.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
But despite the huge demand for her time, Sally's always on hand if ever one of her regular clients wants to pop in for a chat.
Hello, hello, gorgeous.
Hello, sweet.
Singing sensation Natalie Imbruglia has been seeing Sally for 2 years, ever since she spotted her on TV.
I was at the Dorchester Hotel and I was watching her TV show. She picked one person to read for, and I think recently his father had just passed away. And just the connection between the two of them, and her reading for him was just so beautiful, and she picked up on a little moment between him and his father before he passed, and I was just in tears, floods of tears. It was sad, but it was beautiful. I said to my friend, I have to meet this woman.
Natalie found Sally's psychic power kicking in even before they'd met.
When I first rang Sally for a reading, I was convinced that I was coming to talk to her about something relationship related. But she was like, no, hon, you're coming to see me about your work. So even on the phone, before you even get there, she's already picking up on what's really important, even if you don't think it is for yourselves. She doesn't beat around the bush, that's for sure. But I like that. It's very direct. It's not just about boosting your ego. It's very honest and very nurturing.
Natalie's also fascinated as to how Sally deals with the constant presence of spirits.
So how does it work with you, with your own life? Which you've got just direct plug-in.
I don't have direct access.
Yeah.
Well, they have. I don't think I have access. I think they have direct access to me.
So you don't have a choice, it's just...
I don't have a choice.
So they're just like, hello.
It's like, well, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And like most people, Natalie can't resist testing Sally from time to time.
Now, who could that be? It could be anyone. Come on, guess.
Who is that? Oh, it's my phone!
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to get you to guess who's on the phone. Can you do that?
Fern.
I've just dropped my mic. Hello? Is that Fern? It's Fern. It's Natalie. I'm good. I just got your mum to guess who was calling.
She's just a great person, I think. It's very life-enhancing experience as far as any time that I've sat with her, it's been a positive thing. I think we're going to be friends for life, for sure.